Hi all. I keep getting questions on how I do the background clear out. So I was just doing this one for a client and I thought I would do a quick video on showing how I do it. Okay, firstly I've already cleaned out around the letters with my 30-degree V-groove, which is that one. It's gone down maybe 3/16. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to use my 1/4 inch spiral upcut and I'm going to go around these letters and take out all that background. But first what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the edge there. Now I don't do this freehand, it takes too much time, so I use a guide. So I've got my 262 with the spiral upcut set inside it already. Got the clamp in it and I'm just going to carve that out. It's all set up, here we go. Flipped it, so now we do side 2. And just be careful when you're doing this that you have enough space to clear any bottom letters. That was close. Okay, so now in this section I've got some corners, so I'm going to freehand this bit with the same 1/4 inch spiral. I've changed my base with my extra large perspex base. Gives me a good way to control. So I'll do the other side and then show the main bit. Because that's a whole profile done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the rest of this material out, going carefully around the letters first. Right, you can see how that's working. So that's about 3/16 of an inch deep. Right, I'm going to do the rest of it and then come back and show the cleanup on the letters. Okay, that's the first rough clean out done. Now that only takes maybe 5-10 minutes. The reason I give it the barrier around there is so I can move quickly, get most of the material out. When you're doing this, you're going to get lots of chips coming up and your router's not really going to sit straight. So that's why you can see there's some height differences there. You have to go back over it again, but the second time it's much cleaner, as you'll see. Now I'm going to start clearing her out around these letters. You can see where I've gone the groove before with the 30°. Gives me a nice barrier. It also chamfers the letter a little bit so it has a nice finish. See where I've come close? It's actually just popped out. So I highly recommend, I recommend it all the time, but especially if you're doing cleanup, make sure you wear some really good eye protection. You can see I can come up to my cut line. It leaves a really nice, clean, sharp line. Okay, that's most of the fine clearing out done. Give it a good brush so you can have. Now, so you can see that there's some unlevel spots, because when you're cleaning it out, sometimes you tend to ride on a bed of sawdust, which gives you an uneven cut. But now that all the little bits and wisps are gone, I can come back and do one final pass. The reason I don't sand this, because I would need this color on these letters so I can differentiate between what I'm cutting and what I don't want to cut. And start showing the final clear out. Okay, I'm just going to keep cracking on with that. That's all the fine clean out done. You're still going to see, in like a few of the V's where the letters join, that there's still some material in there. My 1/4 inch spiral upcut doesn't fit in there, so I'm going to swap that for a 1.2 millimeter spiral upcut. It's a thing I want to touch on. One of the reasons why I always outline the letters with the V groove is when I come back with the spiral bit, if I was going to come close to the base is wider than the top because it's been cut at an angle. So I can get really close to the bottom, clean it up nicely, and even if I touch it, I'm not worried about damaging anything on the top. That final little clean out. See if those will come out quite nicely. Okay, I'm going to give it a quick sand and then I will use my jigsaw and cut the rest of that out. That's my shape cut out. I don't use template guides. Oops. I don't really see the point really. I just use a jigsaw. I print my image onto the board and then I use my jigsaw, cut it out. I mean, if you can cut that out, surely you can cut that out too. I just use a spiral upcut. Take away most of the waste with the jigsaw, then come back in and touch it up with the spiral. Okay, I've given that background a sand. Maybe a bit rough around the edges there, but that's okay. Touch it up too. So I'm going to chamfer the edges now and we're pretty much done. Got a chamfer edge on it, just giving a sand. Sand off all the colour, but now I still have a few little wispy bits around here which I don't like. They don't take the paint well, so I'm going to give it a quick burn. Okay, a quick burn later, and she's all done. Alright, so the client has requested a black background. I need to do 2 screw holes, 2 screw holes. So I'll get it painted up and I'll show you a final image.